the How to Stress Like a Genius podcast, a podcast all about social emotional learning for teachers, counselors, administrators, special service providers, and students.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Paul. We'll be diving deep into the world of social emotional learning,
We will discuss topics like building strong relationships,
managing stress and anxiety,
developing self-awareness and self-management skills,
and promoting empathy and kindness.
Please join us as we work together to empower others and create a brighter future for all.
Welcome to How to Stress Like a Genius.
Welcome back to the How to Stress Like a Genius podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Nicole.
And today's episode is really fundamental to learning how to stress like a genius. And today's episode is all about the playbook.
Yes, and I always was fascinated as a football fan with a coach's playbook. So I'd be watching the game and it'd be the most stressful part of the game, 2 seconds left, tied, and I would watch the coach just go to the playbook like nothing. And it just made me think that the coach in that situation had the just right moves no matter what the situation or stress. And I was just fascinated with playbooks.
And because of that, it affected me. And I borrowed the idea and adapted it for students in my How to Stress Like a Genius class at an area high school. And we really used the playbook as a proactive way to prepare for those situations that we know are going to come up, no matter the situation, but ways that we can deal with it that are appropriate and help us figure out ways to or plays to make before we're in the stress of the situation.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And then about a decade ago, when I was leading a school, I decided to develop a playbook for me. And part of that was to not only help me prioritize, but also on the days that I went into work and had 100 and some emails by morning, I still looked at my playbook to know my just right move that day was to get into classrooms, was to still hold my meetings. And so it really did help me in any circumstance or situation to know what to do. So that's where a playbook is simply a tool or a plan used for researching, prioritizing, and planning the just right moves, no matter the stress, situation, or circumstance. And that's where in the classroom, you also started to develop playbooks with students, correct?
That's right. And as they did their research and they practiced these strategies and they found the things that worked and didn't work, they built their playbook. So they knew that these are the things that stress me out. And when it happens, I know this breathing exercise works, or I need to get some space, or I need to go for a walk in the walkable labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So when you started working with playbooks with students, you really focused on the dimensions of wellness. And that then inspired me to create a personal playbook where I looked at a couple of the dimensions and I chose, at least for my first draft of my own playbook, this idea of the dimension of emotional wellness. And it really got me to think about my just right move. And I chose a really specific topic, gratitude. And within my own playbook, I started to develop different tools such as listening to a 12-minute app every day on gratitude and meditation. I would also start to journal with gratitude. I did acts of kindness as a form of my just right move on certain days. I even embedded it into certain language I was using in my everyday life. So with the playbooks, they are your just right moves, no matter what type of situation or stress you're under, but it also allows you to still find different strategies for wellness in even the toughest times.
I'm really glad you mentioned the word draft because the playbook is by design a fluid document. Some stuff is going to work for you now and 5 years from now. Some stuff isn't. But if we put the resources in the hands of the students, what are they going to come up with for their wellness plans? So that's the way we kind of looked at it and looked at it from a position of, Okay, we're not in this situation, but since we're regulated right now, what's the responsible choice to make? What's the right move to make?
Ultimately, the playbook enables us to be proactive about the dimensions of wellness we want to prioritize, allows us to capture the strategies we think we will connect with, and then use them when we need them the most as a part of a daily wellness habit.
Strategically planning for stressful situations or those times when you're going to be dysregulated is really what the playbook's for. So we're mindfully selecting those practices that are going to help us cope in the healthiest manners. And we're here to help you make a playbook, and we're going to make our own as well with you.
Yeah, and just remember having that quick visual reference is the beauty of the playbook.
This podcast aims to provide SEL resources to all educational stakeholders. We'll start with strategies and practices for ourselves as we learn how to stress like a genius.
And for now, we want to thank you for listening.
So until next time, remember to take care of yourselves and stress like a genius.